super good counter to lifesteal overall, right? Like if he comes in,
You're an
and
illusion hero. You have good range, and if he gets you low, you just sunder him,
yeah,
and you don't care about that rage.
I guess the frost armor is somewhat annoying.
But that's where in theory the dazzle comes in a bit.
Sure. No, I think the strength of the frost armor isn't really the armor itself.
It's the slow.
The slow, yeah. So I think Troll Warlord, if you want to answer the slow, the battle trance is very nice there.
So generally when we see Troll, we see him with another physical damage dealer, someone who really benefits a lot from the battle trance.
Yeah.
Do you think Terrorblade or Huskar is that hero, or is there something else that we haven't considered that could be a better partner?
I think we've left that building, right? Like I think Troll is going to be the safe lane here. I guess technically Troll could still be the mid.
Right, but even if you even the mid hero is likely to be a hitter, I would say like a physical, some sort of right clicker.
I mean, Dragonite is still in the pool.
Dragonite is still in the pool.
Yeah.
I mean, we have seen Troll mid. Do you think this is a? I guess you don't know who he's facing yet.
Right. It's somewhat dangerous.
That's the tricky part.
And also, I haven't seen Super playing Troll ever. So
Super, yeah, Troll does not feel like a superhero. That's a really good point.
I think something like OD we should not forget about in terms of like a strong mid laner that could right click, that could be benefited from battle trance, that does somewhat amazingly against these kind of in-hero.
So what about Execration then?
Legion
Oh,
Commander.
let's see.
The good lockdown here for the Troll. They get a cleanse for the lasso.
It's just that it's very curious. You're picking LC into Dazzle, right? Like you're trying to build a lineup where you win duels, and a simple grave would at least make you not get damage.
I think they don't care about that. I mean, that's maybe like, that sucks, but we need a way to deal with this lasso, and we've already picked our hard support in the Lich.
Sure. I mean, there's also the Abaddon offlane. Like, it depends on how offensive/defensive you want, right?
Is Abaddon still a viable hero, you think, nowadays? He's
Look,
really fallen off.
I would have said Lich is not a viable hero a week ago, right? So
anything is viable.
We're still definitely learning, and teams are definitely
except techies.
Yeah.
but that's mostly just because he's not available.
Right. So Legion is like you said, it's can go in, and of course I talked about you duel someone, the Dazzle comes in a safe. Let's not forget you could just jump in and go for the Dazzle himself and just kind of take him out very quickly. So it's going to come down to the positioning of DDC, who is most likely going to be handling the Dazzle.
Final ban from Execration, and then we will down to crunch time here. Still a bit single target heavy, I would say, and lacking that, I feel like they're lacking the glue to bring the lineup together. Like, for example, on paper it feels like a puck could be a great way to round the lineup out. Of course, it's banned, but something like that gives them a little bit of control, a little bit of AoE, a little bit of damage. I don't know what that hero is, but we're about to find out. It is
Tinker.
So
they're going on they see the bans of LFY. They take out Puck, Quap, and Storm. And one of the three things they have in common, they're super mobile, very hard to catch, and LFY does lack catch. I mean, of course, they have the Bat Rider and the Shaker, but...
So you either try to get catch right now, or is there another direction you can go?
I think they have to get catch now. You see the Tinker?
Like get Anti-Mage or something.
Okay, I mean, that's...
I'm just pulling a hero's name out.
I definitely think...
Like, is there a wild card of LFY I could say, we don't care about your Tinker, let's do something entirely different?
For Super, I don't think so. His hero pool is somewhat small.
So if they were going to do that, Super would have to be the mid-troll, basically.
Right, and then it
would be a Monet hero. Like, Monet hero, we saw the Void was great last game. Do you think Void is a good choice this time around?
Less so. I think, especially with Frost Armor, he won't be able to get those like easy solo pickoffs. Pugna. This is definitely...
Oh, they just want to push, I guess. This is another way to hit the buildings.
The Crep is another defensive tool that they could put out to save somebody from a duel. That's definitely an interesting look at it.
Super Pugna. It is a very super hero.
Yeah, he loves playing this hero.
Except you can't really frontline as well, but you can otherwise do a lot of the same things that Dragonite would offer. Push, 5-man with your team, be a real threat in team fights as well. But this... I wondered, Lumi, how much does this put like a timer on the game for LFY? Do they scale well late? Can they match up against Execration heading 40, 50 minutes in? Because they certainly had that trump card late game with the Doom Void last game.
I think the late game is much more even. Pugna is, even though he's not the ultimate late gamer, let's not forget that once you get the Acceptor, he can be quite a nuisance, especially on here against heroes like Lifestealer or LC. I think he's actually quite strong in the late game. But definitely it's not a lopsided, hey, you go 50 minutes, you win, that kind of situation. So to me, this is a very even draft. I would even say that I would give it to Execration in terms of how stable their lane's going to be. The catch is, to me, somewhat lacking in the LFY. So yeah, I think I'm going to favor Execration's draft here.
All right, here we go. LFY taking on Execration. Game 2. That is the most fearsome Lich I think I've seen in a while.
It's not a Barbie Lich, so let's not even talk about it.
That's a real messed up Barbie. Talk about that anymore.
For battle.
Teams will enter the fields of battle. Chemo going to be the first one out. He'll go for this quick smoke ward. DD's trying to route him. Got him out. Chemo gets away to safety.
For the viewers that are not familiar with Execration, Chemo, Lumic, same guy. He's been with the organization for a billion years, I want to say. It's
Chemo, I've met him at a couple of events, talked to him a lot online. When I started casting Dota 2, he was one of the first players that I ever really talked to directly online or just in person, and super friendly guy. Really warm-hearted, just someone who no ego about him, kind of your iconic or your template for what you would want as far as a team player goes, I would say. I just didn't get the sense that he was at all cocky. I mean, sometimes you might want that edge. I think some people would argue that, at least for mid players, like Sumail.
You definitely need a 17-year-old emo kid on mid lane, for sure.
Yeah, exactly, right?
You need your CCNCs.
But I think for the role Chemo's largely been in, which is much more of that, the glue, the stable presence, he's just a great guy.
Nando's going to get blocked off here, and the body block commenced. He has to rage to walk out of there. Look at Afu making the plays. They won't get the kill, but the psychological damage.
Got him.
Look at that one fissure, at least 60% of his health.
Also, you force him to skill up the rage at level 1, as well as use it. Monopool is not really a big strength of Lifestealers, so definitely a nice little victory to get things started.
All right, there is a ward scouting out the rotation for Afu, but regardless, James can't, he can't comfortably walk down the river and last it now. Sorry, James and Afu.
So both teams dual laning for now. In the mid lane, we're going to see a 1v1 bottom and 2 dual lanes top. So mirror lane matchups. There's a Batrider taking on a Legion in that safe lane. For now, Raging Potato has skilled the overwhelming odds early, pretty safely. Generally, we see a team with a Lich, and we kind of assume they'll have the edge in the lanes, Lumi. Does that tip things much for you, or how do you feel these lanes will shake out ultimately?
I don't think the edge is actually that big for Execration, because one of the advantages that Lich provides is you nuke the enemy team hard enough where they actually can't CS anymore. The way that the lane is shaping up on the top lane is Monet CSing and Nando's just watching. He's actually not getting into the lane despite having a Lich. Now that will change in a little bit, but DDC is going to make it hard. He's constantly going to pull here. I think Execration is actually having quite a bit of issues on top, despite having a Lich.
The bottom lane is good, of course. Legion Commander basically has no fear against Batrider, can always purge off the napalm, has constant mana replenishment to support it. Yeah. So he's having a great time here and will continue to. So that's a good lane for them. The mid lane is pretty heavily being won, at least for now, by Super. Pugna is a surprisingly fearsome mid laner, especially if you're not ganking him or putting that extra pressure on him early.
Yeah. I think mostly that was Afu's rotation, right? He just stood on the hill of James, and James well, I can't see us, so.
Afu trying to catch out Nando here. He's going to tango his way through the trees. It's back to safety. This carves a different path, but still, LFY, a lot of movement early. Not able to find these early kills.
Sand King finds himself a Invis room, but unfortunately, there was just a sentry in the lane, so Super is very aware of the situation.
Chemo's going to scout out Afu. Maybe they try to go for the Shaker instead. Pretty tanky, already 700 health, only level 2.
Missing a couple points of mana for that fissure. Nothing better for him to do apart from standing here. Look at the way that Afu's standing. He's threatening the... Oh, he's going to get barreled here. He's threatening James, but he's also constantly out of Super's experience range. That's the way that you want to do it. You don't want to, stand in the lane, quote-unquote, help your mid laner, but then also sap his experience.
You can't really trade very effectively with Sand King, though.
Yeah.
Chemo happily going to take about a half of his health away. So the lane's settling down. Seems like there's two big winners, the Legion Commander bottom as well as the Pugna mid, and everyone else honestly not CSing very well. You've got quite a few cores at like 3 CS a minute, which is really low to be honest.
Yep, that's for sure. Tro doing better than Nando. And Nando, in fact, he is going to get bashed, pops a Rage, wants to go on DDC, but despite the Frost armor on him, he is just getting trucked.
Yeah, Lifestealer's base armor is not particularly great, so I think it's essential that they have that early point of Frost armor. Else the heal bomb might just kill him in a situation like that.
Yep. He is standing under the tower, so it does get a little bit of armor there, so he should be okay. Scan will find out that there is rotation coming in. Batrider.
Oh, they're going to go for this. Chemo committing. Burrow forward, looking for the first blood. And a big opening here in game number 2, and they get it. Chemo snags the last hit.
Are they blocked in?
Potato gets blocked in. They did juggle the tower aggro. It might mean Chemo goes down. Ooh, he barely makes it out.
Range axes? Ooh, he tried. Misses.
Worth a shot by Monet.
Yep. So it looks like the lane is going to get swapped. Yeah, LFY is like, we can't actually maintain this. Yes, they are slowing down Nando up top, but in the exchange of Batrider not doing that well.
Trying to set up on Potato though in bottom. Afu in position. Has the totem. Has the double damage rune. Has the fissure as well. And it's going to give him a quick thwack, a follow-up fissure, and a totem to finish the job. Last hit to Monet. Finally, the persistence pays off. Big kill.
Nando forced to rage away. And again, still not CSing. One of the danger for LFY, the way that they laned it previously, is that the Batrider, like you said, doesn't have the advantage 1v1, and they don't have any stacks for him. Shaker is constantly roaming, Dazzle's just constantly helping top, and as a result, if he loses that bot lane, he won't have a way to recover. I really like the way that now LFY shift their lane a little bit. He now could get some CS up top.
Problem is this troll might be in trouble though. Potato's going to move in. Does have to commit the Whirling Axes to get back to safety. DDC also arriving. They might just go on the Dazzle instead. Doesn't have a point in grave yet. He has saved a skill point, but the mana pool is a problem here. Big overwhelming odds. Timed right with the creep wave. They get one. They might want more. They do have a clarity, but Chemo lacks the mana. Wouldn't have time to fill himself back up. So another death here. You liked the lane swap, but it seems that still Execration are sussing out these weak points.
Yeah, the LC in particular to me has gone a little bit too far ahead. He doesn't even have his phase boot yet, but is able to just keep on pressuring and roll that creep wave momentum. Now RR's in here as well. They're going to tower dive. They have the Frost armor, so that tower...
That's all they have. They have no points in the Frost Blast as of yet, so...
They got the Sand King, though.
They just have to rely on El Capitan here, Mr. Chemo, to try and set that up, but... be a possible kill. Still, though, they're forcing out LFY TPs. They're forcing rotations. Again, the saving grace for LFY is this mid lane. Pugna 40 and 17. He is 16 CS above the Tinker. He's now got the level 3 blast. He can begin pressuring the tower. Believe has the makings of his arcane boots coming soon. At least for now, the boots of speed picked up. So mid tower is going to start getting sieged down. Can anyone come here and answer the call? Can anyone stop this pesky Pugna?
He's coming.
Chemo's going to try. The Fissure comes in, not quite on point, but still with a Decrepify and a quick life drain, they're going to force him on his heels. Had that Fissure hit, Chemo might have been dead here.
Yeah, we're seeing the recent buff of life drain there. We'll hit through, like, we'll maintain vision even if you're juking or invis and stuff like that. So we'll not be able to quote-unquote disjoint that life drain by going into Sandstorm.
I like this by Super. You know, going to backpack those null tallies while he hits the shrine. The little things, Lynn.
It's
brings a smile to your face.
The standard thing. It used to be not so standard, but now teams and players are... What do you call it? A game of inches? Dota 2?
Yeah, a game of inches. It's an American football thing. Something that I'm sure most of our viewers don't care about. But it's a good saying, and nonetheless. As Chemo is on the run here, will be brought down. Super gets the kill, but it's going to cost Chemo's life. Now Super out of the high ground. They're looking for the duel opportunity. Super
so
pretty
fast.
Damn fast, but Legion is able to run him. Gets the Decrepify off. Hey, nice duel, bro. How you doing? Let's just have a stare off instead, but it won't matter.
He still dies
anyway, but denies the duel damage at least.
That's actually pretty critical. One of the easiest way for LC to snowball is get that early duel damage.
That was the least exciting duel ever, but
No. The least exciting duel is when there's a nightmare involved. Then there's like actually nothing happening.
One guy's sleeping, the other guy's just staring at him.
Yeah. But that's number 2. Comes to the
Second most least exciting ever.
All right. Okay, Shaker might be in a lot of trouble here. Fissure's gonna try to keep himself alive, but Burrow Strike in 2 seconds.
They got that caustic. Apu in danger. Getting up the hill, trying to hit that shrine. Even reinforcements arriving. DDC was going to tap it for him, but won't get enraged. James is going to pay, though. The Pugna to the rescue. Quick counter gank by Super.
Double.
And even more importantly, a double for him. Arcane Boots complete, 700 gold in the bank. This Pugna's on fire.
I don't see Pugna too often in the competitive scene, but I'm always surprised how effective Life Drain is. Like, look at the damage output. Of course, the Crep did do a lot as well, so let's not forget about that.
And more importantly, look at the objectives being just very quickly claimed here. They're going to drop down that ward. RR rotates in. Still no points in the Frost. Sorry, the Chain
gonna
Frost.
get denied.
Fissure comes through and nothing to hit the tower, sadly. Will fall. Honestly, it's very rare to see a Pugna lineup get tower denied.
True, because
that is extremely rare.
That would be more on the mistake of the Pugna. Into the jungle. Sand King's gonna find himself super, but again, look at the damage!
Ah, yes, give me your life force.
Thank you for that.
I roleplay Pugna on my free time.
Okay. Well, we do have Conrad here with his Queen of Pain cosplay, so maybe
oh god,
in the future we're gonna have a little bit of Pugna.
Yeah, Conrad finished dead last in our fantasy football league that we have with a bunch of other Dota folks. And initially he tried to back out of it, but Commissioner Phil, you know, the manager of EG, called him out, and he is doing the cosplay, though. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, I want to make him do it, but I also don't want to see it. So I don't really know how to feel about the whole thing.
Well, we're going to see it whether we like it or not, because it's here in a suitcase.
Yeah, maybe I just want to see the costume, not Conrad wearing it.
In the river, Afu is going to get burrowed. And right now, we are seeing the power of this Pugna pick. Sure, a lot of it is Afu, you know, it's just standing in mid, giving him the early CS advantage, coming in with the Fissure to, you know, extend the chain stun to let him keep blasting and sucking, but he is 5-1-0. He's got 63 CS, and he's got the Aether Lens finish. The Aether Lens makes you push so much easier, because you get that extra tiny bit of range is so important for a hero like Pugna. You can stay safer. You have the extra bit of mana regen. You have the extra damage output because of the Aether Lens. It is a match made in heaven.
Good positioning here by Afu. Ready for Execration to make a committed dive to bottom. Now retreating to the safety of that tower. A bulwark for Monet to protect him while he farms. Leaving Nando up top for now, trying to play a little bit of catch-up, is going to be going for the Midas. Covering reasonably well, all things considered.
Oh, I think getting a Midas is very dangerous against a Pugna lineup. Like, by the time that you have your Midas and a fighting item, you might be down like 4 towers or more. So, it is... I mean, something he has to do because he's so far behind, but...
You know, the other cool thing about Pugna, Lumi, which we didn't touch on at all, and I think we're remiss if we don't, is that he's great against Lich, because the Frost Armor does not slow down the Lich the push at all. So,
you're right.
Like, normally you'd be like, oh, well, you can just kind of, like, yeah, they have a pushing lineup, but we have Lich to counter that. It's like, well, not really, because they have Pugna.
Well, it looks like we're going to see a fight brewing up top in Flame. Burrow Strike up, get him the duel! Okay, wait, they don't even get the kill, and Flame's in the tree. He's going to try to pour it out. Is he actually going to make it? He does. All right.
Nando even wastes the Infested there, too. That's a big missed opportunity for Execration. Is now the push happens elsewhere. Monet revving up, getting to work on that tower. James comes in. Bit of Frost Armor on backside. Zafu camps out this rune, gets the enchant totem.
Hey.
That's mine. Get the hell.
There is duel available.
And doesn't have the damage, it seems, but maybe with reinforcements arriving. Now, reinforcements are coming for the wrong side. Raging Potato almost dead. Not quite. And this Pugna, so manly.
For not being a man.
For really just a
pile of bones.
Shab of skeleton bones, you know, barely cobbled together.
I wonder what he's going to go for next, though. That's kind of the big discussion point. You generally always do start with Aether Lens.
We've seen the at times the Ags Rush. Sometimes we see a mech to
Veil.
help the team,
Yeah.
Veil as well.
I guess perhaps that is one of the strengths of the hero, right? Like you can just build into a lot of different things to help.
I mean, I personally think a Dagon would be great. Give you that quick burst, win the duels the other way.
Sure, why not?
That's the strat. You keep on baiting him into dueling, and then you come in and you taser him. Get some free damage. Then you become a right-click Pugna. You know, you get a Desolator. And then you really start taking down buildings. Okay, maybe that's more of a Pyrian Flax strat than a real one.
Reasons why Pyrian Flax is not playing.
I want to say a Sir Action Slack strat, but compared to P-Flax, well, it's really no competition in the MMR department.
Top lane, Apu might be in a lot of trouble. Fissure not going to come through. The TPs are coming in Power Ranger style, but it's not going to be enough. In fact, the TP gets canceled. DDC just gets dumpstered by his
For the
teammates.
shallow grave now, as he did deploy the weave. Runs by the shrine, but the shrine won't save him. Unavailable for the taking, and now Monet trying to counter, answer back, but he has to deal with this Frost Armor, as every time he goes for a little swipe on the Lich. The Lich just glides away, or at least tries to. Battle Trance, but still can't keep up with him. It's alright, Super is here. Super is a Superman, gets the kill.
Super's up to 2k goal. Whatever decision he makes.
I am happy to see that he went for the health talent, not the mono regen talent that we saw in MDL. They're going to try to duel in Flame, though. Look for the punish, the Batrider ever so close to his blink, but the fissure comes through from Afu. Oh, can he get to the high ground? No. Unable to escape to the warmer climes.
Look, Jay has been finding good duels, but has never been able to win them. Partly due to the lack of burst damage from his team right now. Also, just, you know, Pugna's being there, being annoying, and stuff like that. BOT Super. Somewhere out there, Ben Wu is smiling.
Well, now he could just be everywhere. He is truly becoming Superman. You know, the real Superman can fly, but Pugna, he's got the next best thing with that pair of boots.
You know, in the Chinese, they do call it the flying boots, because you are everywhere. So, he is the Chinese Superman now. He is literally flying.
We need to get him a costume.
He's got the cape too.
That actually would be an amazing just meme picture. If anybody is skilled in the art of Photoshop and wants to create it,
like using Super's real face.
I will happily retweet it.
Because Super does not look like Superman. Alright.
Is there a Chinese version of Superman? The Super maybe look more like him?
I'm sure there is a made in China version somewhere.
The way you said it made it sound much more dismissive and like derogatory.
No, it was meant to be like that, so we're good.
Mission accomplished.
Alright. The push continues. Apart from the early tier 1 that Pugna was able to pick up mid, and of course Troll did get one, the push has been slowed down. Much thanks to James's Tinker, everywhere with the March of the Machines.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Jay is on the hunt. Again.
So we've kind of got a lull here, Lumi.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to look at like the overall game plans for the team. So what is everyone trying to achieve for each squad, and who do you feel like's on better track to get their particular goals done right now?
Alright, might be a big team fight here. Raging Potato blinks back out. The rest of the team is on escape.
Everyone else should get out to safety. So just a lich down.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Like I mentioned earlier, I think the draft is relatively similar, or in terms of strength and scaling. So I feel like more so than other drafts we've seen, this is really going to come down to execution. Execration is looking to go late with pickoffs. Like LC is going to find picks, Tinker is going to join them, and this Lifesteal ideally is going to get big. Where I think LFY, the onus is more on them to actually be on the offensive, because their heroes are more designed for that, with the Pugna Blast, with the Troll hitting towers. But it's okay even if they don't get the buildings, because they do scale okay, decently. So I think it's more so about like the mid and late game smoke gangs, who's going to get the Roshan and stuff like that. Would you disagree, or do you see the game in a different manner?
No, I think both lineups have that pick-off style, right? They've got the Batrider on the side of LFY, you've got the Legion Commander for Execration. You've got a pretty heavy pushing element with the Dazzle, Pugna, Troll on one side. And then on the other side, you've got the deep push and the split push, as they do lob in the Chain Frost mid lane. Execration gonna find one. They might lose their Sand Cane in turn. He gets towed forward as they want to also hunt RR. In Flame trying to bite off perhaps more than he can chew. He does have the Flame Break as the Lich turns to Frost Arm, pushes him back in. They don't have a stun, and he dropped fast to that Firefly. But, ooh, actually will go down with the burn damage in the well.
Okay.
Really? I for sure thought that the Fountain would out-heal the Flame Break, but
It was Flame Break
apparently
with,
not.
I think, 2 napalms. He did also perhaps have a Poison Touch on him, so...
yeah, I think
Quite a
it
bit of
was
dot.
the Poison Touch as well, though it is only level 1. That was unexpected.
Yeah,
Next-
same here.
Give Inflame a lot of credit there. Like he could have just settled for that Sand King kill, kept him back like on his side of the map, but he dragged him forward while looking for the follow-up kill, and it ends up working out.
Yep.
Definitely feels like Inflame has stepped his game up a little bit
Oh, for
early
sure.
on in the group stage.
If Inflame could play like the way he's playing in this series, I think LFY has a real shot at making a deep run, if not even winning the tournament. Because I feel like you mentioned in the draft of Game 1, that is perhaps the weak link of the team. He always has very high potential, but whether he realizes it or not is a different story.
Yeah, and really right now, the primary objective for any team, obviously finishing top of the group is great, but the objective number 1 is not finishing last. That way you get to the main event. Objective number 2, if you can already achieve the first, is to get to the upper half of the bracket. So, you know, it doesn't have to be a flawless group stage. It's all about positioning yourself for a run at the main event, more than anything else.
Although it's always pretty nice if you finish the group, 14-0 or whatever it is.
Has anyone ever finished top of the group and then gone on to win? I guess
No.
Alliance was the one team.
Oh yeah, Alliance. They just won everything.
Yeah. Other than that, I think everyone who finished top of the groups kind of, they often did well, but I don't recall anyone who actually won TI. Wings had a pretty iffy group stage, I remember.
Yeah.
They almost finished in the lower bracket. CDEC had a very strong group stage, but I don't think... They might have been top of their group, actually, CDEC. They didn't win, obviously.
I just remember, I believe, like a TI2 or TI3, LGD had a perfect group stage run, and then
Yeah, it was TI2, yeah.
he just got dumpstered. Well, they didn't get dumpstered, but they did.
I mean, they finished third. I wouldn't say they got dumpstered.
it was just
but
like
they also didn't win.
they were the team that everybody expected to win based on their group performance, but they didn't. Leicester on the mid lane, they're waiting for him to pop out that dragon and then give him the lasso, but that dragon is...
Oh, they needed the bash to keep him in range up the life drain. Nato gets pulled out, then dragged into the lasso. He thought he was safe, ensconced in his black dragon. And perhaps he was. The Fissure comes through, but the Batrider blinks forward, and now Raging Potato in danger. He's going to crack that blade mail and try to run away. Seems like he should make it back to safety. A bit cocky. I mean, honestly, at this stage of the game, like that 15 to 25 minute mark, you're inside of an Ancient Black Dragon, unless they have crazy physical damage, you're usually fine, Lumi, but LFY are a persistent bunch.
Yep. Monet was there, and luckily he's in the Roshan pit with a double damage rune right now. That will ensure the Roshan going to them fairly easily.
What a time to have one. Aegis claimed a big swing of momentum. Now LFY, they vault forward from being on the back foot to having control over the game, at least for now.
Yep.
And good news for Execration, though, they've got the tools to try and deal with that next round of aggression. James has the Blink Dagger to go with his BOTs. And LFY, not the best Tinker hunting lineup. It's only the Batrider who can really even threaten him.
Maybe if you drop down a Pugna Ward, he could give you an idea where that guy is. Oh.
And what a turnaround by Super here with the Decrepify preventing the opposition from getting in range. They will finally get the kill on the Batrider, though, and now Super may pay with his own life. James comes in, make it a 2-for-1. It almost looked like Pugna was just going to win them that fight outright, but ends up being an Execration-favored engagement.
That self-decrep did not help him at all, in fact.
The first decrep on the Sand King was great. That kept the Sand King out of range, so the epicenter was not hitting the Batrider. But yeah, the second one, not so much.
Ooh, Sand King trying to juke into the trees. He blinks out. They could not get off the poison touch on him. That would have been big. Good try, though.
So a couple of missed opportunities here for both teams. When the dust settles, a very slight gold lead for Execration. Quite an even series overall.
Yeah.
Even game one was neck and neck until maybe 35 minutes or so.
I think both teams play relatively the same. It was LFY getting the better draft in game one, and they won off the back of it. And this game, like I mentioned a lot of times, the draft to me feels very similar, and the game result does show. Going back to what I said about the Leicester getting Midas earlier, I was somewhat worried whether he's going to get punished, but they play the early game good enough to such that it's not going to get punished.
Now he's got Armlet Death, so that should mean an easy...
He got on the lasso!
Super again with these Decrepifies completely negating the offense of Execration. Who thought Pugna was this effective as a defensive hero? But
yeah.
Indeed he is.
I mean, I did
Such a good dual counter.
I did mention during the draft, it's like, yeah, you can, you know, prevent from some damage getting out. Not only that, he's just like saving people. Burrow Strike is going to hit here. Decrep again, perhaps. The Grave's going to come back out, so FY Inflame should be fine. The duel, Decrep, oh, the live train save! Thanks for the damage, bro. Wait, Jay has 0 damage and FY has 14 from Jay. Sorry, when I say Jay, I mean
he's just been he's been frustrated this game.
Yeah.
Decrepify and Grave. The more and more you look at it, even Fissure, so many long-range ways to save a teammate, help a friend in a time of need, and prevent those duels from being won by Execration. He's chafing, that is for sure. And they committed a lot there too. They blew the Chain Frost, they threw out the duel. They had 3 or 4 heroes in the area that when they could have just been farming, and LFY still able to rebuff the offensive Execration. I guess the good news for Execration is they're taking these fights in enemy's turf, which means LFY are not really threatening their tier 2s right now. Something you would normally expect a Pugna troll lineup wants to do. And as I say that, here they come down mid. They are trying to push.
That creep wave though is just gonna get destroyed. I think they're gonna have trouble pushing tier 2s and tier 3s until they have a hood or pipe on their team. And I don't know who's actually gonna build it.
It's kind of concerning because in the bottom lane, meanwhile, well, Execration were pushing, but now they're getting shut down perhaps by this lasso. Nando trying to make it out. He does infest for now, popping back though, and in trouble. One more auto tech might be enough. Armlet toggling on the TP. Oh! He will make it out. Great plays by him. The micro on point.
I think they lost a more important hero, unfortunately, though. The Tinker. I think the Tinker is really the piece that's going to be the glue to tie this draft together.
And he's your time bomb, right? Legion maybe could be, but he's not winning duels. He's not really farming that well. And ultimately, Lifestealer alone will not carry this game. Late game, he's going to be chain bashed. He has 2 ways to shut him down, the Grave as well as the Decrepify, used defensively, and the Lasso to worry about. So yeah, you need that Tinker to be farmed, Lumi.
Yeah. There's definitely a very interesting sub-mind game between the Batrider and the Legion Commander. Oh, mid lane Monet walks in, and now they're going to give him a duel. There's no Decrep here. They're going to burst him down. No, the Grave again. They're going to keep him alive. Here comes Super. Decrep, any life trying to keep him up.
Somebody killed this man already. Finally goes down, but not before living through the duel, getting the kill. Now Tinker will respawn, but the damage is done. Tower now under siege.
Yep.
Well, for a moment at least.
And the Rockets will drive them away. But
they need a pipe.
Oh, no, FY?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I think Batrider will perhaps eventually go back for it.
You remember when March of the Machines did universal damage? And like you couldn't even push into it with BKBs and Tinker good formations?
Yeah, that was a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, this game, right? You got Frost Armor buildings, you got the March of Machines. It's a reason why you're saying, you know, LFY has a pushing lineup, but they're unable to get too much done. It's because of
executing that push is not easy.
Yep.
That is for sure. So, still an even game. It's been pretty back and forth. Both teams farming. Both teams a good mix of fight now and scale for later. Very unclear who's going to come out on top. The map control is roughly similar, I would say. Both teams just defending their tier 2s now. The Aegis now expended. That tower mid did hang on.
Oh, Jay finds himself Afu. He's really low, but...
Jay is just not feeling the duels right. He's like, if I'm going to duel somebody, we'd better have 3-4 heroes in the neighborhood. Or I have to know that there's no saves in sight.
Well, he
might walk into a Radiant scan here if he ain't careful.
There we go. There's a duel. Tinker comes in, and now... Oh, wait!
Oh, denied again!
The Grave is here! He doesn't win a duel, and now it's going to be the Sand King getting caught out. Sand King might be in trouble as well. Afu blinks back in. Man's up. Dude, he scouted the area. You know, he scanned.
He should have trusted his instincts. You could tell he's like,
I don't think so.
Just not a good idea.
Yeah.
I shouldn't go for a duel right now like this. The team's like, come on, duel him. I'm right here.
Tinker's here. Yeah, I'll be here.
I'll throw my missiles in. I'll throw my lasers in, and then if it doesn't work out, I'll just blink away.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of that, Tinker
gets found by Inflame.
They just lost 2 out of their 3 cores. The lone man farming is Lifestealer, and I don't think he's going to do it alone. While LFY may not have the best catch, Execration are serving up kills on the silver platter by overextending.
Yep.
Now LFY could potentially even Try to do a little chip damage here on the high ground.
You say chip, I say chunk. Like it's
Chunk damage.
it's gonna be at least 2 blasts for the Pugna, if not more.
Siege commence.
Okay, Tinker's down for 15, so they could one more blast. Maybe they back off of after this one. Oh, Lich comes in thinking he could actually hit the ward. Who do you think you are? Afu jumps in, has a great backup, so he's not worried. Monet just walks in. That's more blasting for Super. He's gonna go for the tier 3. All of a sudden, this could straight up lead to a Rax.
And just blasting and sucking away. Super getting the job done on the Pugna. And certainly not a hero that you're like, alright, I better ban this so Super doesn't get his hands on it, but I think it does highlight his versatility as a mid player. Not only can he play his signature heroes well, but he can, you know, if the need calls for it, play something less conventional like a Pugna mid and pull it off.
Yeah, it is less conventional, but this is a great Pugna game, right? The Crep is so good against this kind of single target focus lineup with the duel as part of the initiation. And I gotta just feel for Raging Potato. Like, this is perhaps one of the most tilting game I've seen from any like individual performance-wise. He's not a bad player. In fact, he's one of the best. It's just that he's just counters so hard. The Grave is there every time. The Crep there is every time.
The only good time he had was in the laning stage.
Yep.
When he was playing against the Bat Rider 1v1. Ever since then, it's been all downhill. What happens to a potato when you heat it up too much?
Shane would be my man to call, but
Pretty sure it explodes, right? Like you just got like the potato, like it pops open, kind of.
Radiant's bottom tower is
I never did well in science, so I don't know.
Potato is not a staple of your PvP.
Dire's top shrine is
Yeah,
That's okay.
it is not for me.
You know, I have a very large Irish heritage, but I actually don't even know.
Dire's top
Because I don't
shrine
cook.
has fallen.
Got Pugna hitting level 20. I wonder what... Is he going to take the cast range talent? He's
What-
reading the talents. Alright, he decided on cast range.
He's reading them.
So I don't know if their PCs are in Chinese or English, right? Because when the Chinese, they read in Chinese. And I don't know if that's the case here.
Well, normally at TI they all have their own hard drive, so I'm pretty sure if they want like the Windows or Dota in English or in Chinese, they can just change it.
Okay. I did send some behind a Chinese player, and he had an English client earlier, so I wasn't positive.
Yeah, to be honest, most of the Chinese players at least like understand English, even if they're not comfortable enough to like speak
Sure.
fluently. But it's pretty rare to meet one that doesn't at least know the basics. Whereas the reverse is not true. You know, average English-speaking player, you know, at most knows like maybe like a Western language, but definitely not any Chinese or.
Oh, dude, the chat wheel's changing the world, you know? Everyone's like,
One-
完不了了, 加油, you know, we know.
One oyoyoy at a time.
Lich going oh yo yo yo, see, gets dragged in. The Glimmer Cape will
The
not
Glimmer
save
Cape is not working. It is not saving anything right now.
No, it's not. Christian still charging down the mid lane right now. They gotta get the hell out of there.
The game feels like it is starting to slip away from Execration now. Down 6,000 gold. Tinker not out of control. In fact, it's Troll who is
Radiant's
on
middle
top.
tower is under attack.
Tinker to me feels very much so in control, in a bad way. Alpha
Being
has-
controlled.
Being controlled, there you go. Bat has honestly done an excellent job in Flame again. Just gotta give credit where it's due. He's finding them, he's isolating them. Every team fight, that is his man.
Do you like the Ags build for Tinker this game? I know it's like the preferred build, when at least when Tinker was being picked to counter Terrorblade, you know, so you can just kill off all the illusions, but is that the de facto build in other situations, or is there something else you can consider?
I feel like a Lincoln Sphere perhaps will serve him better, just given how the game's been going.
Going Hex stacks.
I mean, sometimes you gotta just be on the offensive to win, but I just perhaps don't think this is the game to do it. Like,
One
you know,
fissure or one lasso, and you just, unless the Legion's there, he's just done for, right?
right. Now, the whole Lincoln's thing is that it doesn't block fissure, so that's the other long-range initiation that you can't kind of play around. It's just a tough game for him, honestly.
33 minutes in.
Dire's bottom
LFY
shrine
taking
is
it
under
nice
attack.
and slow. They're gonna look to take down some shrines here. Monet gets to work, hacking away. did complete the Sanjin Yasha, went back for a Diffusal Blade, has the Vlad, so all the kind of tier 2, tier 3 items to get him through the mid game. Still room to grow if this goes late. Now marching towards a Silver Edge is his next pickup, and that could be a problem for the Tinker if he's not good about hiding himself in the trees properly.
Well, speaking of Tinker, there you go, top lane. Oh, okay, still alive. They lasso him though. The fire is still gonna burn. Enchant Totem's gonna be there. Chain Frost's gonna fly through. They might actually win a duel. Raging Potato says, this is the time. No grave, no decrypt. They finally win the first duel of the game, but Batrider comes back in. Blink away here from LC. He should be fine.
RR. He's got that Glimmer Cape. Hasn't saved him once yet, and it won't save him this time either because Super has an Aghanim Scepter. Now the Purge coming out from Monet, chasing after the Potato, chewing through him now. BKB dodges the stun, goes in, commitment onto the Potato, bakes him, throws a little butter on him, and then eats him for dinner. A nice snack for Monet, and now wants a piece of the Lifestealer too. This one not so tasty, but still crucial if he can bring him down. Monet, big commitment on the high ground. The Grave comes through, he's still got a cheese, he's still got an Aegis. He's got 3 lives, and he won't even lose the first as he tries to run away. James will cut him off at the pass, gets him with the laser, tags him once. Okay, they do it a second time. Now going to work. He manages to de-backpack the cheese. Might be a little hot and sweaty, but still get the job done in a pinch.
All right.
I feel like the cheese should, maybe have a small chance of poisoning you if you keep it in your backpack.
Oh no, you know it's a little bit warmer.
It's squished.
Yeah.
It's got stuff growing on it, in those conditions. I mean.
It's a very fresh cheese, right? It's just gotten.
Yeah, but it's just been sitting there, like fermenting in his bag.
You make it sound like a backpack. It's like a thermodynamic, like hot thing. No, it's just a backpack.
It's hot out, man. It's like 95 in Seattle today.
Maybe. That's
Come
true.
on.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, to be fair, it's not like an oven strapped to his back.
Great buyback on the Tinker in that base defense. I think that buyback kind of surprised LFY a bit. They were poised to be, running over and perhaps taking a second lane of racks, but the buyback very critical in terms of outputting enough damage to kill through the Grave, and kind of just like the March machine just drive them back. So
the flip side of that is they're now down 11k.
Yep.
And Tinker had to buy back, so Tinker starting to slip quite a bit in terms of net worth.
Hey, got dual win, so hey, on the board, 35 minutes.
It's a dual win worth 5k gold in net worth swing.
No. Oh, the truck finds Raging Potato, and now he's stuck in there. All right, he's invis, but I'm sure they got a sentry, and Raging Potato dead again.
Oh, it's a tough game. I think they might have been going to plant like an anti-Tinker ward even. Not sure if they realized he was there, or if it was just bad luck. But
I don't know how that siege creep. Look, the headlights on the truck is just beams into the trees.
Sees like a small flicker.
Yeah.
Somehow knows. G Commander lurks. Gonna try to jump Dando here in the mid lane. Just get caught out, and who cares about your heavy helper? He evaporates, literally disintegrates. Not a speck of him remains. The life drain combined with the Aether Lens, and on top of that, Decrepify slaughters him. Meanwhile, they're killing Heroes bottom. This game is spiraling out of control. LFY on a rampage towards victory, looking for a 2-0 to get their group stage started.
Look, last game was Yao Ming dunking on kids in the park. This is the Airness himself, MJ. All right, big epicenter coming through. Does absolutely no damage. CC drops low, but he graves himself in here. No, he's going to give dual damage to DDC. This is literally the first game I've ever seen in my life where LC gives more dual damage
well,
than he's got.
Inauspicious beginnings here for Execration. An 0-2 start in their opening match. LFY off to the races, looking revitalized, showing some interesting picks with the Doom for Inflame, the Pugna mid this time around, and Execution. That's been pretty solid.